Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast.
You do the work of the gods, friend.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
There's just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smelled like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. There's just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point and Click Podcast. My name is John the Wise, and I have with me a special co-host and guest, Moodefy, Marina, Wrench Thing, whatever you want to call her. What's going on, Marina? How are you?
It's going good. Thank you so much. How are you doing today, John?
Oh, I'm doing just great. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, today we don't have Czar. He just text messaged me saying something came up in his personal life. Hopefully, it all gets resolved. So just send your positive thoughts to Czar. And right now, we got a better guest than him anyway. So don't worry about it. You're like a bigger upgrade than Czar for sure. 100%.
Well, he has bigger tits than I do, so unfortunately.
I mean, he has bigger tits than anybody out there, so that's pretty much it. That's I think that's why I was attracted to him in the first place, you know?
Yeah, I know. Me too. That was actually the first I caught eyes on. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
this guy I want to keep on watching.
So, Marina, you just moved to a new place. Congratulations.
Yes.
Let me give you a couple rings. Oh, wait, hold on. That was weak. That was weak.
Okay, come on.
No.
You gotta do better than that.
The bell was touching something, so it didn't. There we go.
Now it's good. Thank
Now
you.
it's good. So the move, first of all, moving sucks. I hate it. That's like the worst part about getting a new place is like all the packing and unpacking and everything. So you finally did all that. I saw a picture of you posting like all that cool computer stuff that you put together. And looks like you did a good job because your computer works.
My computer works. It's so funny. I was so worried and I was tearing my hair off because I wasn't sure if it was working or not. And then as soon as I pressed that button, it just started up and it looks beautiful. I'm super happy.
Yeah, I mean that's everybody's. I'm pretty confident with like putting computers together, but even I'm like, dude, what if it doesn't work? Well, would I even know what to do? I don't even know if it doesn't work. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, me neither. Like I was struggling to put the motherboard in, and I was so worried because you have to put it in and not touch the underside of it.
Yeah.
And then I was doing that for 2 hours trying to fit that motherboard in, and I was so frustrated and I was so worried. Like I almost broke down in tears because I thought it was actually gonna break or that I managed to fuck something up, and but it worked. It wasn't any issues. I'm super happy because I wasted so much money on this computer, so I would cry if it wouldn't have worked.
I know the first time I put RAM in, I was like, I looked at a video and it looked so easy in the video. The guy's like, you just put it in, click it in, and you're good. And mine wasn't like going in easy. You had to like put force into it, like a lot. Exactly. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to break it. I'm going to break my motherboard. I'm going to break the RAM. Like, it was just bad. But obviously I got it working. But it's scary, dude, at first.
Yeah, my worst fear was the CPU when you put that in. Because you have to have those levers, and I had two levers that I needed to disconnect to be able to get it in. And then when you push it back, those levers, you actually have to use a little bit of force. And
Ugh.
everyone was so like, yeah, be careful with the CPU, you can't break it. And I was like, oh my gosh, should I really press this hard?
Oh my
It was
God. I know
horrible.
exactly how you feel. That's exactly my same situation. I was just like, if I break this, I remember my dad walking by the room and he looked inside and he saw like the computer like apart, and all he knows is he bought it. So he paid like I don't even know how many hundreds of dollars. So that was before I had a job or anything. And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, don't worry, relax, I got this. And then after I fixed it and everything, he was like, oh, okay, I guess my son knows about computers.
Well, that's good. Yeah, this was the first time I actually put together a computer, so I was so worried, and thank God I had so many great friends to help me. Like seriously, I couldn't have done it without them. So that was really really nice of them. So I had Chazzy on a call, and he was like continuously, okay, you do this now, and then you do this, and then you do this, and I was like, okay, but should I do it? No, do it this way.
What a hero,
But
dude.
yeah, he definitely. I'm super happy that he was able to help me.
That
So
is
he's gonna get.
that is
Yeah.
like the top one of the top three things ever about having like Twitch stream friends and like people that you met through Twitch. They're all nerds, they all know how to use computers. So
Exactly.
it's great.
Yeah.
I think like 90% of the people that like watch my stream and your stream are all tech support. Like they do something that has to do with computers.
Yeah,
You know, like
definitely.
every shout out in chat to everybody. By the way, Stas, Ekamos, I see you guys in there. Thank you so much for being here, and all the lurkers too.
Woohoo!
This is a live podcast, so
Yes.
yeah, you just moved. If you guys don't know who Moodefy is, she was a guest before on our podcast. If you're like just starting from the middle, you're like, you know what, I'm gonna start from this episode and I'm gonna go forward. Well, she's a Twitch streamer, and I don't know if you do any other creative things. I know that you stream like is your main thing, but you don't have like a YouTube or anything, do you?
No, I don't have that. No. It's I mainly focus on streaming just because I kind of liked it. Like I've never been a YouTuber in general. I never really liked YouTube in that way. Like it's a great tool. I love it in that
Yeah.
way, but I suck at all of that stuff.
No, I
I'm happy
get
that I
you.
got Twitch to work.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that's the thing. I feel like nowadays you have to either do everything or focus like really strong into one thing. But
yeah.
it's whatever you want it to be. So
Yeah, and as long as you enjoy it and have fun, I think it's no matter what you choose, I think it's good.
yeah, can you imagine people that stream and they're not having a good time? There's a lot of those out there. But that's
Yeah,
like their only job. They quit their job so that all they can do is stream and they hate it. Ugh, I can't imagine that.
yeah. Like imagine how unsatisfying that has to be. Like put so much effort into something and then realizing like that this is not what I want to do.
I know.
Like yeah, it's that sucks for
Yeah,
them.
and then
But I love Twitch.
but then at the same time they're like, I don't want to go back to my 9 to 5. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? What am I gonna do? Clock
exactly.
in, clock out, work for some idiot?
Yeah, I'm really happy because I actually am really satisfied with my daytime job. It's so much fun. It's so rewarding. It's amazing. It does interfere with my stream a lot because some days I do have to work quite late, and those days it just streaming is really really difficult. But I love my job so much. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, well, that's good. I'm glad that you love your job because I'm in a situation where like I don't love my job, but I'm glad that I have it because it lets me stream, it lets me pay my bills and do all the things that I can do. So that
Yeah,
aspect of my job, I love the paycheck.
yeah,
That's it. That's all I care about. But if I could
yeah,
choose, I would stream full time and do YouTube and do my podcast. I would do my podcast more often. I would do like twice a week with wife and with this one, at
yeah,
least. But
yeah.
yeah, it's all good.
Exactly. But I think it is good. Like I really enjoy like if you just look at the creative part of Twitch and podcasts and all of that, like content creation. I almost said that
You said
really
it
badly.
right.
Yeah,
It's
but I
one of
almost
those
said it.
content.
Yeah, I almost said that.
It's okay.
Content.
You can say cunt on this podcast.
Cunt.
Very very nice.
No, but like, I think that's really great, and I think it's so creative, and I love seeing so many people being so into it and wanted to do that more. And I, of course, I would love to be a full-time streamer too, but at the same time, like I love my job too. So I don't know how I would kind of balance that out in
Yeah.
some way.
Well, no, I mean it's awesome that you have an outlet, because the way I saw it with streaming was, if I don't have something that I can do for fun that I enjoy that could possibly, help me in the future, then I'm going to lose my mind, because I can't just do the same thing over and
Yeah.
over again. I can't just like clock in, clock out for work and be on a routine like that. I would rather have something that I can have some fun and it can pay off in the like future, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it. But anyway, Moodefy, she's a streamer. You can find her at Moodefy, twitch.tv, Moodefy. And you're more of a variety streamer, right? Like you do all kinds of like single player games and RPGs, and like, if you do, have you played that Tomb Raider game yet?
No, it's actually it's a funny story because I started playing it,
Mm.
but it was I set every setting down to the lowest possible setting, and I still was lagging
Uh,
on stream. And
yeah.
then I said, "Fuck this! I'm buying a computer." I bought one, and now I'm ready to actually stream it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have it on my computer, and I want to.
Yeah,
I
that's the
definitely want
worst.
to. Yeah, because I really love the first one. I love the second one, or the 2013 one and
The new
2016
Tomb
one.
Raiders, yeah. I know what you
Yeah,
mean.
they were really really fun. So I'm actually really excited about that. But the thing is, right now there's so many games that I want to play, so I don't know how to prioritize or what to do with my time.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Mm.
It's cool. I do like the new iteration of the Tomb Raider, but I never played
Mm.
them like growing up. You know what? Oh, maybe you can help me with this, because I have this thing where I hate female protagonists.
Mm.
I don't know why. I just feel like either they like over sexualize them to the point where I'm like, okay, I get it, dude. You want to see tits? Like, I don't get it. Like, a perfect example is Near Automata.
Mm.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard it's a really good game. I'm sure it's a really good game, but they have like a half naked girl as like the main female protagonist, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't need to get my nuts off playing games. You know what I mean? Like I just want to I want to have fun. So I don't know. Maybe I just get turned off by having the female protagonist be the main thing, especially if it's over sexualized. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like I totally understand that, and I see why people actually do have that. Like for example, if you look at Nier Automata too, like they have an achievement that if you look at her butt long enough, you get an achievement, which
Yeah.
is it's one of those. If you look at those aspects of that game, it's absolutely horrible, and I completely understand the way you think. I don't mind female protagonists, but I do hate when they're forced into, like, for example, certain games would not. I'm sorry to say, but certain games would not fit to have a female
Yeah.
protagonist. For
And they
example,
just
like,
do it just so like the horny boys can have something to look at.
yeah, exactly. For example, we were discussing this actually. It was, I think it was a Battlefield game or something we were discussing, and we we were talking, and it was I can't remember if it was Battlefield or if it was someone else, but they added a character that was a female, and people were just like, no, we can't have females in this game because it's not historically accurate, you know.
Hmm.
And I don't mind that. Like if that's like, if you really want to go for authenticity, I think it's called, then of course there shouldn't be any females in there. But then of course at this day and age you also need to add females to for equality and such. And I don't know, like I think it's all of these are just getting out of hand. Like I don't see why gender has to be so important and in games actually.
See, I know exactly what you're saying. The thing is, I don't have a problem with females in video games at all, or even
Yeah.
as like one of the main characters or anything. I just have to, it has to make sense. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And I think like one of the games that got it perfect was like Skyrim. All the women in that game are super strong. Um, they're not just like, they're not wearing like armor that's revealing unless you get the mods, obviously.
Mm.
But like just the vanilla Skyrim, most of the women, you could even make a female character, you can make a male character. It's the same storyline, and all the female like supporting roles in the story, they're all strong women that are wearing armor that's actually covering them. and you know, they're like strong characters and stuff like that. So I
Yeah.
never had any problem with any of that because it made sense. It wasn't
Mm.
like, hey, come look at my big tits while I like spin around and shoot fireballs out of my ass and stuff like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
But yeah, exactly. But I like that. Like I like the fact that, because one of the reasons I very rarely pick a woman in a game, like if you can choose between a man and a female, I always go with the man,
Yeah,
for the reason that they always have such cooler armor, and
I
I
know.
love armor, and it's just so, I just the way people, like when people choose female characters, they say, oh, I want to look at her ass or her tits when I play, and fine, if you want to do that, go for it, because I want to look at cool armor. Like I don't
Yeah.
want to see a naked chick in front of me. Like I that's not why I play that
That's the
game.
number one reason why I hear a lot of, because I've asked a lot of people like, why do you make a girl like in World of Warcraft or whatever, like
Mm.
whatever game, why do you make a female? And they're like, well, if I'm gonna be looking at something, I'd rather it be a girl than a guy. And I'm
Mm.
like, dude, what? Why does that even matter, dude? Like, why do you have to like satisfy that little thing in your brain, dude? Like, why does that need to
Yeah.
be satisfied at all times? You know?
Maybe it's not that brain that needs to be satisfied.
I know, right? Or maybe I'm just attracted to men.
If you never know, and that's okay, John. That's okay. Just be gentle when you tell your wife.
I know she always asks me like, just tell me if you're gay. Please just tell me if you're gay, because we're gonna. This is before we had a kid. She's like, we're gonna have a kid, and then we're gonna find out later on that you're gay. Thank you,
Nice.
Cheeseman. Thank you, Cheeseman. We know you are John. Says Cheeseman.
I know. I'm watching. Hi,
So, yeah.
Cheeseman.
So you moved to a new place. That's because you got a new job, right? In Maine,
Yes.
Stockholm, big city.
Yes.
How is it living
Yes.
in a big city? Because I lived in LA all my life, so I know exactly what it's like living in a big city. But I'm not sure if you lived in a big city before and just moved to another big city, or what's the situation?
Well, basically, I lived in like it is technically a city, but I would kind of call it a village anyway, because people are just, imagine like a small town in the southern Alabama or something like that. That's basically where I come from. A lot of cousins,
So wait,
having sex with
really? Are you serious?
no, like I'm not that serious, but it's
Okay.
a kind of similar comparison. We are a little bit of hillbillies. We are a little bit of, or people up north are a little bit like that. A little bit of wilderness people out hunting and
Mountain
being out in the
people.
forest. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in big cities before, but this is the first time I'm actually like more permanently living in a huge city, and it's really nice. I love it. I prefer having a lot of people around me. I prefer having this little buzz all the time. I love hearing like the city itself. You are a little bit more, and another thing that I like about big cities is that you are a little bit more anonymous,
Yep.
and like you are able to, like if you do anything in my hometown, everyone knows everyone. So if you do something, or if you meet someone or anything, like everyone knows everything. So if you meet someone new, they will be like, oh yeah, that person that was dating that person and they were doing that, and oh no, they were doing crack when they were younger, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's You don't get to learn, you don't get to know new people in such way. So it's a little bit sad. So I like meeting new people and actually get to know them instead of having someone else tell their story to me,
Yeah, the
if you know what I
other,
mean.
yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. The other thing is like if you ever get into any situation with somebody, you know, like you'll probably never see them again.
Yeah.
Because
That
don't
reminds
worry,
me.
I know you're choking. Went around the wrong hole.
Yeah.
But
It actually reminded me about this anonymous, because I actually, oh gosh, I broke like a small young guy's heart the other day. Holy shit.
the other
It was
day,
yeah, it was so embarrassing, because I went and picked up my computer parts at the pickup store, or at the small 7-Eleven where I could pick up my packages.
yeah,
So I went in there, and I think it was my graphics card that I picked up, and they were asking like, oh, what is it? And like they were making conversation, and I started talking to the clerk and
of course.
explained that I
If
was,
a girl comes in and picks up a graphic card, they're like, "Oh my god, this is the one for me, boys."
Yeah, and then we started talking, and it was so fun. And then we, I said that I was gonna build my computer and yada yada yada. And then he's like, "Oh yeah, what do you play games?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm a gamer." And he's like, "Do you know Fortnite?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's only like 12-year-old nerds that play Fortnite." And he looked at me like, "I play Fortnite." And I was like, "Oh shit." It was so fun. Like he was maybe 18, 19 or something, and he's like, "Yeah, but there's a lot of big streamers that play Fortnite." He was so heartbroken.
Damn, you just totally. He's like, you know what? I'm uninstalling.
Yeah, it was absolutely horrible. I felt so sorry for the guy,
I'm
but
not. I don't feel
yeah.
sorry for him at all. You did the right thing. You did a service for humanity. Thank you very much
Yeah.
for doing that. He needed a reality check. Okay.
Yeah, and those are the things. Like because I say those weird shit sometimes, and then those situations happen, and then here in the big city, like they will never meet me again, so I'm fine. It's
Yeah.
okay to be.
Boy, as Flubbagut says in chat, boys play Fortnite, men get annoyed at PUBG. Yeah. Real
Exactly.
men don't have fun playing video games, okay?
No. Absolutely not.
Dude, I can just imagine that guy going home and his friends are like, "Hey, you want to play some Fortnite?" And he's like, "No, I'm okay, dude. I'm gonna go for a walk."
Oh yeah, I know, and I felt so bad for it because in my mind, I would have thought, like I should have thought about, well, if he's asking if I play Fortnite, of course he's playing Fortnite too.
Yeah.
Like yeah, but I was like, no, only 12-year-old nerds do it. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit.
Good shit, dude. But see, you live
Yeah,
in a big city, so you can do that. You'll never see that dumbass again. Fuck him.
exactly.
Unless you have to
So
go get another graphic card.
yeah. Well, I think I'm set for a while now, so I should be fine. I should be fine.
So tell us the details. What are the specs? We gotta know what you're working with on this computer, dude.
Okay, so I bought an i9 as my CPU. I have for my GPU, I have a 1080 Ti, and then I have big ass fans. I don't even remember what it was called. Noctua, I think. The motherboard is an Asus X2999, 2900 or
I'm ringing every time you say something great.
awesome. And then I have 32 gigs of RAM,
There you
and
go.
I'm looking at my computer. Am I missing something? I think those are the main parts.
That's
at
it. That's
least.
all we have to know. Everything else is doesn't matter. RAM, you need a lot of RAM. You need a nice graphic card and a good CPU and a good
Yeah.
motherboard. You got it all. So your computer's
Yeah.
a monster, is what you're telling me.
It's an absolute monster.
Ugh.
Holy shit! I spent so many. I don't even want to say how much I spent on it.
Oh, we know. We know how much you spent on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, it was. But like I said, I just raged when I tried to play Shadow of Tomb Raider and it wasn't working, and I was like, "Fuck this! I'm working. I'm gonna treat myself to something nice."
There's
And
nothing more depressing than not being able to play a video game because your computer sucks.
yeah, definitely. So now I'm working on having a 2 PC setup for streaming, so it's gonna be nice. It's
Oh,
gonna be
sweet.
cool.
So you're gonna have a streaming PC and a gaming PC.
Yes, exactly. So I have a friend. He works with events, especially like he works a lot with DreamHack,
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah.
example. He works at DreamHack, not for them, but his company works at DreamHack. So he is always setting up streamers and all of that for his company. And he's helping me set up this 2 computer stream. So I'm really excited about that. It's
Dude,
gonna
hell
be
yeah.
cool.
You have so many cool friends that'll help you out with all those things, dude.
I am so lucky. Holy shit.
Yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yeah, and the funny part is like these guys, it's all started with me playing Heroes of the Storm, and from there everything has just spiraled like
Yeah.
into getting to know these guys. So that's really nice.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's how
am
it
from
is.
Sweden.
She's Swedish. Cheeseman is Swedish too. So he's going to be like, oh my God, what part? So yeah.
Ah my gosh! Hej Cheeseman! Hur är det? Jag hoppas att du har det bra.
Yeah, motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
He said, how do you say that? Hejsan.
Hey son.
Hey, son? Okay, so J's are Y's.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Sweden.
why a lot of Swedish people, when they say joke, they say yoke.
Oh,
Because our
okay.
J's are Y's in English.
Yeah.
I've been trying to work on that to get my J correctly with a DJ instead of just
What?
a like you know how you say J with the D sound at the beginning?
J? Do we say it with the D? J? Do we?
Yeah, like, joke.
Joke that has a D in the beginning?
It's it's more
Joke?
it's
Oh, okay, I can see it. It's
it,
like
it
a hint, a splash of D.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
the way I
yeah.
like it.
Damn. Nice. Nice.
I'm working on getting the J correctly.
Okay. In Spanish they do that too. The J is a Y.
Yeah,
And
exactly. It's very similar.
so that makes sense. Okay, sweet. Sweet.
Sweet. From Sweden. I'm Inga from
Sweet.
Sweden.
How much do you
Sweden.
hate when people are like, "Oh, you're Swedish," or "Are you Swiss," or Finnish? Because I have a viewer that's Finnish, and he says, I forgot which one is the ones that he doesn't like. The Finnish don't like the Swedes, or they don't like the Swiss.
Oh, they don't like the Swedes.
Okay, and then the Swiss don't like the Swedes.
I don't know about the Swiss, but I know we Swedes don't like the Swiss because everyone confuses Switzerland and Sweden all the time. So.
What about Norwegians? Where are they in all this?
Oh gosh, don't even get me started. Like we have these kind of few the Scandinavian countries,
Yeah.
and like we all have these jokes where we kind of basically Swedes are telling jokes how stupid Norwegians are, and the Finnish are telling jokes how stupid Swedish are, and
Yeah, if everybody was right, everyone's an idiot, everyone's
Oh yeah,
ugly, everyone is low class.
exactly. But it's kind of fun, I think.
I always like that about cultures because I want to know like okay, who is low class in your culture and who do you hate because they always every culture has the one that's like, "Oh, those are the low class and we're better
Yeah.
than them," you know? So I always love knowing like what it is because then I go talk to that culture and theirs is like completely different.
Yeah,
So, it's fun.
I think that's really hilarious too. Like I know we Swedes up north, we're always kind of the stupid ones. So, and that's not completely untrue. Just putting it out there.
But what's stupid in the sense of maybe like you don't know how to write a check, but when it comes to chopping down a tree, I'm sure that
Yeah.
you do way better than me.
Yeah, like imagine like that's why I compared ourselves to a small town in Alabama. Basically, that's the same kind of cultural difference I think that we see here. Like, and how Swedes here in the South, everyone is making fun of the northern people because we are such yeah
Yeah.
people.
The only difference I would say, like a small town in Alabama, they're way more religious than like I don't know if it's like that in northern Sweden, but like small towns in the south are usually like super religious. Every Sunday they go to church. They never miss church. It's like a part of
Yeah.
everyone's routine, you know?
Yeah, that's not here.
Yeah.
I don't think Sweden in general are very religious. So
Yeah, that just adds a little spice to the people that are
yeah,
around here. Okay, well
yeah,
that's fun. We got a little history lesson from Sweden.
yes.
So yeah. Uh, anyway, are you down to get some video game news then?
Yes, I am.
Well, the first thing I wanted to talk about, which I will, let me get the browser up right now. Okay, first thing I wanted to talk about was the Star Wars movie Solo. I actually watched it, well, the day before yesterday. I was trying to watch it, but my son kept screaming at in the middle of the night. So we would like
Aw.
pause it, like settle him down, press play, and then he would scream at like 10 minutes later, then we'd pause it. So we had to like rewatch it from like halfway on. And
Yeah.
have you seen it yet? Have you seen this Star Wars movie?
No,
Are you a
I
fan of
haven't.
Star Wars?
I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I actually has cosplayed Yoda.
Okay, so you love Star Wars. So
I
tell
do.
me why you haven't watched this, because it's probably the same reason I haven't.
Yeah, when I actually have to say, I think I stopped watching a lot of Star Wars movies for the reason that they started to become very repetitive when the new kind of Star Wars came out,
Yep.
and it doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie anymore. It's just it feels like a how we always talk about how sequels are worse than the originals, and I
Yeah.
feel a little bit the same about this one, because, for example, if you compare the new Star Wars with the old Star Wars, there's this Jedi that hasn't gotten their Jedi power, and then they kind of get it, and then there's this, sibling feud, and it's just
Yeah.
the same kind of again.
It's the chosen one it's the trope of the chosen one. They do that with the Matrix. You're the one. They literally said you're the one. So like, it's like the same
Yeah.
thing with Star Wars and everything.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
I think they're kind of starting to lose their touch a little bit. And yeah, I don't know. I just
Well, I agree with you 100%. I don't like any of the new Star Wars movies. I like them, but I want to love them. That's the
yeah,
problem.
exactly.
I don't love them. I just like them. I think they're fun. I'll watch it one time, maybe like another time if somebody has it on at their house, we'll watch it. But I'm
Yeah.
not like going crazy about it. So that's the problem. That's a problem in my book when it comes to Star Wars. I'll tell you
Yeah.
though, this movie, it has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, Solo, a Star Wars story. And I gotta
Hmm.
tell you, it's actually really fucking good, dude.
Nice.
I liked it a lot. And like, I agree with you on all points about all the other Star Wars movies. I think that the problem with this movie is people didn't like the casting of Han Solo, but he did a good job. And if you think about it, the thing is, you're not gonna get Harrison Ford, dude.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think that's an issue too with that a lot of people has, that they are expecting the old kind of actors
Yeah.
to kind of still be in the, like, it's I think it's very difficult. Like, they have such high expectations.
Well, the thing about Harrison Ford is he has this natural charm and charisma where you just want
Yeah.
to hang out with him. He's
Yeah.
super attractive. Even though he doesn't have like this, like he doesn't look like Brad Pitt. He's a little more rugged, but that's what makes him so attractive. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
and like you said, the charisma is like, he has it. Like, when he's talking, you just like instantly fall in love with him, basically. Or
Exactly.
like, even when he was playing the Indiana Jones movies, and like there, he just has this thing. I don't know how to explain it, but you kind of get, you kind of feel that he's a person you want to hang out with.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like what people are upset about with this movie is that this guy that plays Han Solo doesn't have the same charisma as Harrison Ford.
Okay.
But it's like, how many people do you know have the same fucking charisma as Harrison Ford?
Yeah, that's not gonna be many.
No, I can't even name another person. I'm sure there is if we like sit down and go through a list. Like, okay,
Yeah.
like John Hamm from Mad Men, that guy.
I never saw Mad Men, so I don't know.
Okay.
Or I saw it, but I don't know who he is, because I kind of didn't watch
Well, it's like this
that much.
natural charm, like you feel it's like you feel like he's a man and he has a natural charm. That's the whole
Yeah.
thing about Harrison Ford. So this guy is just like a young dumb kid who thinks
Mm.
he's the shit, but that's the whole point of it. It's supposed to be young Han Solo not having any of not having any of the coolness that Harrison Ford has because he's a young dumb kid. It's his origin story.
Yeah.
But other than that, dude, I mean, there was so many cool things that happened in the story. There was like a train chase. There was like it wasn't just like the action of it. It was like how they introduced the action. They introduced new things into the world where you're like, oh shit, that's how they do things in the
Oh,
Star Wars universe and stuff like that.
that's what I've been missing a little bit from the new Star Wars movies. That aspect of this new kind of thing, the way they do stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
that
not
is,
it's not all lightsabers and Jedi mind tricks, dude.
yeah.
That's what this story is all about. It's like this is the everything else part. This is
Yeah.
like it shows you the aspect of the Imperial army, like what it's like being a slave, what it's like being a criminal, what it's like working for the gangs that are in Star Wars and stuff like that, the syndicates. And
Yeah.
it was fucking so cool, dude. I thought it was like Narcos, but a Star Wars Narcos. You know
Oh,
what I
that's
mean?
so cool.
Yeah,
Maybe I
so
should have a look. Maybe I should go watch it.
no, you should. You'll like it. I liked it. I don't think it deserves a 70%. I think it deserves an 80 or above. The only reason it's so
Nice.
low is because of the main character. That's why. A lot of people were
Oh,
upset
that
about
sucks.
that.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I will definitely have a look. I've been meaning to find some new movie to watch or something.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
So I highly recommend Solo: A Star Wars Story. I feel like everybody that's upset about it because of the past Star Wars movies, I think you'll like it actually. I liked. Did you watch Rogue One?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
It was okay. Like you said, I liked them, but it wasn't. I didn't love them. You
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
and that's
I thought
a
Rogue
little bit of
One
my
was
issue.
better than the new Star Wars movies.
It was definitely better because it's. I think the main Star Wars movies is because they're so focusing on the main timelines with oh, I can't even remember her name now, Ray or whatever her
Ray.
name was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's just that focus is so big that these other movies and the side movies, so to speak, I think they're more interesting because they're not following this old Star Wars
Yeah, they're
kind
not
of.
tied down to whatever storyline
Yeah.
that needed to be said before and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
was good, but I didn't absolutely love it. I didn't do that, but it was good.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to talk about that because I feel like it's worthy of a second look if you guys want to give it a second look. All right?
Nice.
Let's go. Next piece of news. That's my movie minute.
Woohoo! A long minute.
Have you heard about this drama with Telltale Games shutting down?
Yes, I've seen it all over Twitter.
I know.
It's so sad. Because I haven't heard exactly what happened or why they really did it, but I heard that they were closing down, and I felt that it was so sad because they kind of created, or maybe they didn't create, but I like that genre, like this Telltale games, and it was fun, and it's really sad.
Yeah, so the reason why they shut down apparently was because they weren't making any money. The only Telltale games, the only one that was profitable was the first Walking Dead series and the Minecraft one. All the
Oh,
Batman ones didn't make any money.
hmm.
All the Game of Thrones, the Borderlands, the Wolf Among Us, all those, none of them made any money.
Oh, that's sad.
I know. I thought that we all thought like there was like a market for it, that like people love
Yeah.
those games and there's enough that they can sustain them because they were making so many games.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was so shocked when the news came that like why were they actually, because I thought I didn't know that they were shutting down because it wasn't profitable, because but that's definitely the last guess that I would have, because there's so many and everyone I've talked to like them. So
Yep.
it's really strange.
So they shut
It's really sad.
down. They shut down and they literally just laid everyone off. Everyone got fired. No one got severance. No one got notice. Nothing. It was like they all live in the Bay Area of the United States. That's where Telltale Games is. And if you
Yeah.
know what it's like there, just think like New York, or more. Like as far as rent and cost of living and everything, it's a super expensive place to live. So,
Yeah.
and from what I read, they were all living paycheck to paycheck because of how expensive it is to live there. And some of them were brand new employees that moved to the Bay Area for the job, you know?
Mm.
So then
Yeah.
the company just went down. They didn't, employees got nothing. They were just like out on their ass. You know what I mean?
Uh, th- that's just that just sucks
It's a nightmare,
really
dude.
hard.
A nightmare,
Like,
dude.
yeah, and because I've read some Twitter posts, for example, like some of these developers, how they were complaining that that they actually said they were talking about how they were working overtime and didn't get paid for overtime and whatnot. But
Yeah.
it's just so sad that they can't just do that. Like I don't know how that job market works in America because I've never really been in the job market in that way in America. But I think here in Sweden you have to have like some kind of notice
Yeah.
of your employment if
Yeah,
your employment ended.
I did some research because I thought that I thought you couldn't do what they did. So I researched it myself and I could tell you guys exactly what happens. So I'll kind of unpack this whole thing for you guys. The first thing is a lot of people wanted to know if the Walking Dead series was going to finish because they started it and it's the last season and they're on the second to last episode, I think, and there's one more left that they would have to develop, and it would be over. So everyone's like, dude, you guys went this far, like, you got to do the last episode at least, you know? And even like the
Mm.
girl that did the voice acting for Clementine and everything, she was like, this is really sad. A lot of my fans won't be able to see any closure. So the first piece of news is them saying that they're working with some partners. Multiple potential partners have stepped forward to express their interest in helping to see the final season through to completion. So they
Oh, that's
said,
nice.
well, they said they can't make any promises, but they hope to have some answers soon, and that they'll have something.
Yeah,
So at
that
least
would
they have
be
that.
yeah, because that's one of the worst things that I know. Like, because I was reading a manga, and they never really finished it, and it's just so unsatisfying not knowing that very last part. So I really hope that they will be able to find someone to actually finish the last, at least the last season of that game. If there's so many people who actually wants to, because I have all of those games and I've been meaning to play them, but I've never really got around to it.
Yeah.
So if they
So
don't do the last one, I'm not sure if I want to play it because I want to have closure.
yeah, no, that's the thing. The I played the first season, the second season I didn't have fun with, so I just stopped playing. I tried playing the
Mm.
Game of Thrones one; it was so boring, and I
Oh,
after that I just didn't play any of the other ones because I was like, that's not for me. But I guess I
yeah.
wasn't the only one because they shut down.
Yeah.
But that's the situation. So they got people that are gonna hopefully work on the game and they'll be able to finish it. That's the one piece of it, and a lot of
Mm.
people are kind of happy about it. But also on the other end of it, a lot of people in the industry are upset because they're like, that shouldn't be your priority. Your priority should be taking care of your employees that are literally like homeless. You know what I mean? They're gonna be
Yeah.
homeless, some of them.
Yeah.
So that's that. So let's move on to the next piece. Whoops. The latest on the closure, was it this one? What is this? No, it's not this one. Let me fast forward this. Okay. So in this article, I read the whole thing. This pretty much like gets the bullet points on what's going on. Number one, it is illegal what they're doing. If you shut down, if you lay off your employees because your company shut down, then you have to pay them severance and you have to continue their medical coverage for at least 60 or 30 days. So that they didn't do that, obviously. They just shut down and they fired all their employees. And now there's like a huge class action lawsuit against them. My
Mm.
only thing about this whole thing is like, I know that's, we're all thinking like good, that's what should happen. But if they're not making money, that's why they closed down. Why do these people think that they're going to be able to get money from them? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It,
mean, if you file for bankruptcy, then there's nothing you can do, you know?
yeah. I think in Sweden, I think there are some kind of social services that you can turn to that can help you pay.
Yeah.
I'm not completely sure, but I don't know if it would work that the same way in America.
Yeah, I mean, we've, in the past, the government has bailed out companies. That's what, like, those banks, they bailed them out. You know, they just
Mm.
literally gave them money so they wouldn't shut down. But that was like 1 in a million chance for that to happen. Other than that, there's unemployment that you can get from the government where they just give you money for up to 6 months, like a percentage of your salary, just to get
Mm.
you back on your feet. And
Yeah.
there's that, but it's not the same. It's not the same. You're not getting 100% of your paycheck. You're getting like 70% or 65.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. At
so
least maybe, if that would happen, like if, for example, they would be, I don't know, like if the government would actually be able to help them, at least, well, 70% would at least maybe mean that these people could at least survive and not, end up on the streets,
yeah. And Mudsy Mod's
maybe.
saying as a company, they're responsible for knowing ahead how much they need if they wanted to shut down. Excuse me. They shouldn't just one day have enough money to run and next zero to pay severance. So once they saw it go downhill, they should have closed sooner when they had the money for severance. Well, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Obviously, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, money management wise or development wise. They've developed all these games and they got these personal IPs like Batman and Minecraft and Borderlands and stuff like that. But obviously, there was some kind of disconnect. I think were going for quantity over quality. They were just trying to bust out so many games and not thinking about like the quality of it. And this game like that, that's like story driven and everything, you need quality more than anything.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with that. And it's as you say, maybe it was maybe just bad management. Maybe they just didn't want to, like, because sometimes you might not want to kind of admit to yourself, like, especially in the gaming industry, because one game can just turn everything around.
Yeah.
And maybe that's what they were hoping for. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, which sucks so hard for these people. And I'm not saying that it's right, but I don't know what happened. But maybe that's one possibility of what actually happened to them. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think it was 250 employees all got sacked. I think that's how many it was from what I read somewhere.
Gosh.
But as the way I found out about this whole closure wasn't even through them. It was through Blizzard sending a post saying anybody affected by this layoff, send in your applications. And Ubisoft said the same thing, and some other companies as well. They're like, hey, any of you guys want to come work with us? We know you're talented. Come on through. You know, we need people like you. So
That's so
there's a
nice.
silver lining. Well, they're talented. They did make good games. It's not
Yeah.
like they knew how to make the games. I didn't experience any bugs playing the Walking Dead games. The voice acting was great. The art style wasn't my thing, but that's their style. It's not like it's a bad style. It's just not me. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
So they know what they're doing with all that. It's cool. I hope that they're all okay. I hope they win this class action lawsuit. But I also hope that Telltale kind of lets us in on what the fuck happened, because we still don't know exactly what it is. We just know that it's most likely they didn't make any money from their games.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So why they didn't make money, that's up in the air, dude. I have no idea. I guess enough people didn't want to play it. You know?
Yeah, that's that, or either that, or they were just not really. It could be a, like, I have no idea what happened. Like, maybe they were just like not managing their money correctly, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
That could be it too. Like their accounting was bad. Like they had the
Yeah.
wrong spending and stuff. Because a lot goes into a company. Obviously, you know, it's not just how good your product is. It's also how you spend your money, how you reinvest in the company, and stuff like that. How much are you paying your employees? Maybe you're overpaying some of them. You know,
Yeah,
that kind of shit happens. So,
definitely. But
all
let's
right,
hope for the best.
hoping for the best, dude. That's all we're doing. All right, next
Yes.
piece of news. Oh, so this guy, he worked for Telltale, and he made these like videos. He's like, now that there's pretty much no consequences, enjoy this dumb shit I made in the chore tool while I was at Telltale. So these are like some of the stupid things that he made while he was working there and animating, and just for fun. And now this guy just posted all his shit. It's Lee from the first Walking Dead. He comes out of his house, he grows into a giant, and then he shoots lasers out of his eyes. And then he has another one of this guy getting coffee with like music and stuff like that. He has some like Sam and what is this game called again? Ed and Sam or something?
We cannot recognize them.
I forgot his name. I forgot the name. What was the name of this? Sam and I don't remember.
I'm trying to look, but I'm I'm looking at your screen at the same time.
Sam and Max. There it is. Flubbergut got it. Yeah. So
Thank you.
there's that too. He was just messing around. So I mean, they're going full blown meme now. They're like, fuck it, fuck this company that doesn't care about us. I'm just gonna go full meme now.
But at least they show all of these things, because these are fun, like, to watch these kind of things that people do, and being creative, and like not be within the frame of whatever they're creating right now, but they can actually go wild and do whatever they want. That's cool though.
Yeah, as Mudsy Mods is saying, no wonder they went bankrupt doing all this, wasting their time doing this dumb shit. This is what they're paying their employees for. All right, next piece of news. All right, so this made me really fucking sad, dude. This guy had a house fire last night, and his room with 30 systems and over 2,000 games just fucking erupted in flames, dude. Look at this.
No.
Look at this picture, dude. All those are games that
No.
burned. Classic games, dude. Super Nintendo, Nintendo, Sega, anything you can imagine. This guy's whole collection burned down, dude.
Holy shit.
How much does it hurt your heart looking at that picture?
It's just my heart is broken. Holy shit. Just okay, I'm almost starting crying just because it's just so terrible.
I know, man. And the thing about it is like there's like insurance where you can get your money back, but it's not about just the money, and it's also like you got to catalog every fucking game that you had and prove that you had those games. I know. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Everyone's like, we don't want to see this.
Yeah.
It's
That is so horrible.
it's fucked up, man. I hope
Holy
Twitch
shit.
bans you for this gore.
That it's just imagine like, oh my god, there has to be so many memories in there. Holy shit.
Yeah, and you know that this guy started this collection because he had the systems growing up. Like the newer kids
Yeah.
nowadays, like, okay, I have a son. He's about to be, he's by the time he's of age to play video games, he's not gonna want to play any of these fucking games. So
Yeah.
so he has no connection to this. He thinks this is stupid. It's all digital downloads and stuff like that. But for us growing up, like, what was your first system growing up?
I had the 8-bit Nintendo.
Yeah, the 8-bit Nintendo was my first. Then I got Super Nintendo. Then I got
Yeah.
PlayStation, N64, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you're right there with me as far as we old.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
We're old as fuck. But
Yeah, I know.
there was so many memories with those fucking cartridges not working and putting them in and blowing on them, and then to
Yeah.
look at this, it looks like your childhood is just gone with this picture, dude.
Yeah, that's why that's exactly how I feel. Like imagine all like, oh my gosh, like not just the money, but just all of the memories and everything. Like, oh gosh.
Yeah, and especially this guy, this is like worth thousands of dollars. Whatever this is, 30 systems and 2,000 games, thousands of
Yeah.
dollars, dude. F's in chat for our boy John Lewis, who posted this on Facebook and then it got posted on Reddit. But F's in
Holy
chat
shit.
for our boy, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
do
Holy
you
shit.
do you still have any of your old stuff, like anything?
No, we don't because we moved from the house that we were living when we were young. They did that. My parents, they threw all of that away.
No.
Yeah. My brother though, he bought one 8-bit Nintendo 8-bit like a used one. So he has one, but it's not the one that we used to have when we grew up. So at least he has that one.
So your parents threw away everything, dude?
Yep.
They just threw it in the trash. They didn't give a fuck.
Yep.
Ah, that's so
Like
fucked up.
because we had a huge house when I was younger, and they moved to a small apartment, and they were just like, "Oh fuck this, we're gonna throw everything we're not gonna need." And I wasn't living at home at the time, and my brother wasn't, so they just like threw everything.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah,
You-
that was really sad.
So I had a family friend, and he was collecting Magic the Gathering at the time, and he
Yeah.
got tired of it, so he just gave it to me. He gave it to my mom to give it to me. He's like, just give it to John because I don't care about this anymore. And I didn't know anything about Magic the Gathering or what it was. She just came home with these cards, and I was like, oh shit, these are so cool. They had like zombies on them and like cool art on them and stuff. I didn't even know how to play them or anything, so I just held on to them. Then one day, like years later, my mom was like, "Oh, I threw away those cards because they had ugly pictures on them."
No.
It was a lot of cards too, and
Oh,
like,
no.
and I was like, "Dude, why did you throw them away? I liked them." And she's like, "No, the pictures were ugly. I never saw you playing with them, so I thought you didn't care about them." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Well, whatever. They're gone now." Fast forward years later, I walk into like a comic book shop that has a bunch of fucking Magic the Gathering cards in the display case, and I saw like so many of the cards that I had in the display case, and they were like $100, $200, $300. Like I was like, oh my god, dude!
Oh, damn.
I had like at least over $1,000 of like Magic the Gathering cards, probably more. I don't
Oh,
know.
gosh,
I was
that
young
sucks.
and I know it was terrible, but it reminded me of this fucking picture, right? This picture reminded me of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So
Oh,
many things gone, dude. So many
so many
things.
things. Yeah. Damn it.
Nowadays, no one gives a fuck about like the physical copy of something. You remember when you used to like get the box
Yeah.
and then you open it and there's a poster and a booklet and all kinds of shit.
Yeah, I remember. And, like all days, like just the feel of holding like a cartridge, for example, for a game, that was amazing. But
Yeah.
now we have everything on Steam. Now we don't need to do that.
Everything's digital now. Everything's just digital copies. Just download it, buy it, download it, install it, play it. That's what everybody does now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of the guy, says Mudsy Mods, who had like 6 million worth of Bitcoin on a hard disk and he threw it away without realizing it. Yeesh. Yeesh. I mean, I feel
Damn.
like that's worse because he just threw away money.
Yeah.
All right.
But at the same time, like memories, I value memories so much.
Yeah, especially with video games. Like there was times from the age of like 11 to 14, every family picture of mine is of me sitting in front of my PlayStation
Nice.
playing Final
You were a
Fantasy
gamer.
7 or something. Yeah, dude, I've been playing video games for so long.
Nice. I was playing video games when I was younger, and then I kind of stopped, and then I came back to it. So I had a little bit of a game break, but that's also one of the things. Like people up north, in my opinion, don't understand, or at least the older generation up north doesn't understand computers in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
Like because my parents, for example, they still don't understand what streaming or gaming is. Like they're more of a, okay, I know she plays games, kinda, and then, or when I talk to people up north and I tell them I'm a streamer, or I play games, they're like, what
Yeah, it's
what
really
is that?
confusing to a lot of people. Even people that play video games don't know about Twitch, a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, slowly it's becoming more and more known.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
definitely, that's good.
so the Ekamos is saying in chat, I really need to ensure my Magic the Gathering collection. What I would recommend is that you catalog every card that you have. Take a picture of it, put it on a hard drive, date it, whatever you got to do. So in case you do lose it, like in a fire like this, you have proof of each card and each card's value. So like I'm looking at this picture, I don't know whether there's video games or not. Like it looks like those were video games that burned down, but I don't know. If I'm an insurance company, I'll be like, I'm not gonna fucking pay for this. How can we get out of this? That's all insurance companies do. So
Yeah.
so you have to somehow prove that you had, because some of the games are worth like $500. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then some of them are worth nothing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so yeah. All right, that's it. I won't torture you guys with this picture anymore. We're gone.
Thank you.
We're gone. All right, PlayStation gets Fortnite, Xbox crossplay as Sony finally caves to user demand. So I know you don't play Fortnite, as that guy figured out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What's up, Mudzy? But so PlayStation in the past was the only console or platform that was saying we're not going to allow cross-platform play. They only allowed it with PC because they felt like PC games or PC gamers and PC gaming is as close to a PlayStation as it gets. They think Xbox and the Switch are inferior consoles, and they kind of have a point. They are. As far as like specs and everything goes, like the hard specs, yeah, the PlayStation has better specs, but it's not an inferior console. It's just, like it might be a
Yeah.
little better looking on Sony or on the PlayStation. But anyway, they didn't want to do cross-platform play because they felt like their customers would get a diminished experience playing with somebody that has a shittier console, which doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense at all.
No.
Because you have a monster computer, I have an okay computer. If we play a video game together, as long as both of our games run, we don't give a fuck. I don't care that your computer's better than mine.
No, exactly. Like
Yeah.
why should the only time that I care when I play with people, if they're lagging so hard that they can't play. Like that's the only time.
That's the only
Like
time. Yeah, like damn, they
yeah.
can't play because of their internet or whatever. But that's that doesn't diminish my experience. It sucks for that person.
No.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So that was their reason. Everybody was like bothering them, like, dude, we want to play with our friends. I have family members that have a Switch. I have family members that have Xbox. Like, I just want to play video games with them. And on top of that, if you make an account on your PlayStation for Fortnite, you can't use it on PC. You can't use it on Xbox. It's not like you can just sign on your PC account and use the PlayStation one. It's its own separate thing. So that's how much of Nazis they are, like, with it. It's like PlayStation only. They don't like this whole cross-platform thing at all, but they finally just had to, like, give into it because everybody was demanding it.
Yeah.
And now we have it.
Yay. But that's good for the people who plays Fortnite.
I know, right?
You know, that guy at the 7-Eleven, he's probably happy about that.
I know, right? So I will say, as much as I think Fortnite is for nerdy little kids, those nerdy little kids were the first ones to create history where, like, we have cross-platform play, because we could never do that before.
Yeah, I know. It's actually kudos to them.
Yeah, so that this is what it is. What it is. I mean, people demanded it. They did it. They didn't like it, but they're doing it because they know that they'll make money.
That's nice.
That's it.
Nice.
All right. Next piece of news. Oh man, did you see about this? I didn't see anything about this. So I didn't like actually see it, but the title of this headline is Epic Games says Fortnite's new breast physics were unintended, embarrassing, and careless.
What?
So apparently in one of their new patches there was breast physics introduced, and I never got to see it. So let's see.
What?
Let me see. Fortnite breast physics. Let's see. Okay, let's see a video. Okay, so breast physics accidentally added. Is this the one? I'm sure they have a video here, don't they? Okay, here's a GIF. Let's see. Let's take a look at it. Okay, I can't fucking see this thing. Great. Here's a short video.
I like those little bouncy at the bottom.
Okay, it's being really fucking annoying, dude. Open a new tab. Thank you. All right, here we go. So here's the breast physics. Oh, it kind of looks like a bug. You see that? It kind of like pulsates. It doesn't move like breasts. So
yeah, but it's fun. In all honesty, it's kind of fun that it's a little bit of a bug or whatever we should call it.
But does this look? It looks like a bug to me. It doesn't look like someone added breast physics.
Yeah, it looks.
It doesn't look
strange.
like. It's not in tune with like what would work.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Well, apparently that bug went through. It says this is unintended, embarrassing, and it was careless for us to let this ship. We are working now to fix this as soon as possible. I think they're overreacting. Like with. Go ahead.
In all honesty, like I do agree with you. They're probably overreacting. However, considering the society today, I think they probably need to react like that.
Yeah, you're right.
Like
they do. They have to come out like, "Oh my God, I couldn't sleep at night knowing this happened." Like they have to say that, like.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, it's like, okay, it was a bug, whatever. Whoops, just fix it. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just considering how much all of these controversies when it comes to boobs and whatnot and women in games and such, I think they need to, like you say, be like, oh, we can't sleep unless we fix this, because otherwise these social justice warriors will come and kind of be bitches.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
No, but that's what it is. It's just they have to come out and have this like embarrassing outrage, like they lost sleep, they fired everyone. We fired the whole art crew, guys. Don't worry. Well, this will never happen again. Like, Jesus Christ, everybody relax, all right? It's not a big deal, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's even if it were someone who added it to it, like as long as they just like, yeah, sorry, we're gonna fix this, and don't make a big deal out of it, just fix it instead.
All right. So anyway, this whole idea of this game is explore Darth Vader's castle on Mustafar, and it's in collaboration with Ninja Theory, who did Hellblade and DMC, Devil May Cry. It's not clear how long or involved the episodes will be. Oh, so it's like episodic stuff.
Nice.
Is this it? Tile official Star Wars VR experience, Trials of Tatooine trailer. Here's another one. No, it's just immersive virtual reality is what it is.
Nice. I'm definitely gonna look into it because I really loved Hellblade. It was so amazing. It was I love that game. The way that they created it and the way that they made you feel kind of insane when you were playing it. There was a few visual issues that I felt like a little bit of coloring that I would have done differently, but in general, it was a really great game. I liked
Yeah,
it.
people. I remember reading about it like way back in the day about like how it was gonna change the fate. It looked insane as far as like the graphics and everything.
Mm.
So I was like actually excited about Hellblade, but when it came out, there wasn't a lot of buzz around it.
No, it wasn't actually. I didn't. I can't remember. I think someone recommended. Yeah, I had a friend who recommended it. He said that he was gonna he was gonna gonna smoke and be high and play that because of the insanity kind of situation of the game.
Oh, it has like
Uh,
insanity.
yeah, like throughout this whole game, they have recorded voices, so you hear like surround sound voices, and it does make you, if you have headphones on, it does make you feel like you're kind of insane and are hearing voices because the way that they've programmed the voices to come through different channels kind of.
Yep, I have a lot of editing to do.
Nice.
So
Well, that's interesting too. Then you get to learn some new skills.
I know I gotta do some editing today. That's gonna be fun.
Nice.
All right,
Yes, so we're
so
talking about Vader Immortal VR.
so yeah, this Vader Immortal VR game looks like just a VR Star Wars game. I don't think there's any hype behind it. The only reason this is news is because ILM X Lab. That's why. So ILM is working with Ninja Theory. ILM
Oh,
is
nice.
international, or what is it called? International Lights and Music or some shit like that.
Is it?
It's the Star Wars. They made it for Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's how they got popular. ILM, Industrial Light and Magic. That's what it is. It was created by George Lucas for Star Wars, and then it became like one of the industry standards for making movies and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah, so they're the
It-
ones working with them. Hellblade.
Yeah, that's so cool. I hope it's gonna be good.
I hope
Maybe
so
it's
too.
time for me to get VR.
I
I've been
know.
meaning to get it for the longest time. I just never had it as a priority because there's so many other games that I need to play first.
Well, the thing about it is now that you have a monster computer, it might be actually pretty cool to get VR. So
Yeah,
because that's the only thing that's holding back VR is technology. The
yeah,
technology is
and
not there yet.
yeah, and now I actually have a huge room.
All right,
Yes.
we're back. We're back and we're ready. I have a lot of editing to do, so yay for me.
Good job, John. You're gonna do good.
All right, let's get going. The podcast is cursed. I know, man. First, Czar was the first fucking victim. The ghost of Telltale just screwed our whole fucking podcast. That's what happened.
Yeah,
All right.
probably.
What's up, Poland? All right, next piece of news. So, Devil May Cry 5 lets you spend real money to upgrade your characters. This is like a new trend that's going on with video games where they're allowing microtransactions in single player games. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
seen that shit.
Yeah, I've started to notice a little bit. Like not any of the games that I've been playing. It's been more of if you actually like. For me, it's more been if I pre-order, I get certain skins and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I've heard about this, which I feel is just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that it's not like kind of required, not required, but like makes your gameplay more makes it easier if you spend real money, because then again, everybody should be able to do whatever the fuck they want, just like using cheat
Yeah.
codes, like if you want to use cheat codes or play on easy, go for it, But I think that this is like kind of one of those things that's called a slippery slope, where like it starts like this and then it becomes this thing where like all single player games are going to have microtransactions now, and then it's like the only reason you'll play the single player game is for the microtransactions, and they hide a bunch of like features behind microtransactions. So,
Yeah.
mm,
I see why they're trying to do this, like from a business perspective. However, it just, for me as a gamer, I feel that it's absolutely awful, because probably what's going to happen, like you say, it's going to be a slippery slope. And then at the end, you're going to have certain games where you're just like, oh, whatever, I'm going to pay just to get past this boss. Or it's going to be almost impossible to actually pass
yeah.
certain bosses or whatever, unless you actually upgrade,
Yeah,
which sucks.
that will suck. That happens with like almost every mobile game that you play.
Yeah.
Every mobile game you play, you start it with, and then if you want to get to past like a certain level, it's like, oh my god, I gotta buy all these like boosts and like little things that happen to help me beat this level because they designed it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's just, I'm really hope that it's not gonna be, because in my, like, I can see those hardcore gamers, they might not really go for this, and I see how this can attract more casual gamers into actually play harder games, like for example Dark Souls.
Yeah.
If you add these kind of transactions in there, I can see a lot more people play it,
Mhm.
more casual people. But still, at the same time, I feel like it's like, no, it's just gonna be greedy business people want to have more money from the games.
Yeah, I guess it ruins the art of the game too, because if you do that for Dark Souls, it's like the game's supposed to be hard, you know?
Exactly.
And that's why people come to it. It's like, hey, you think you can beat a hard game? Well, how about this one? If you can beat this, then you're good at beating hard games. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So,
Exactly.
but if you add microtransactions, and it just totally takes away from that whole legend of the game,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Exactly. That's also one of the reasons that I don't like this, because as you say, it's gonna be like, yeah, no, I beat Dark Souls, but I paid to beat it, basically.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why do you then actually buy a game so that you can pay to actually beat it?
Yeah. So
It just,
that's the thing. Like the whole mobile game and microtransactions and that whole era of introducing those things into gaming, it's made such a huge impact. It's pretty much how every online game is. They all have loot crates, they all have currency, they all have gems or whatever the fuck you want to call them.
yeah,
And I feel like it's bleeding into single player games, and that's like the natural progression of it. But it's every time it progresses into being more and more, people get so upset because they just want it to go away, but it's never going to go away.
yeah, it's never going to.
No, the microtransactions are going to stay forever. They're only going to get more, they're only going to get worse, but the way we can defeat it is by voting with our wallet. We just don't play those games, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's
And
what's
that's,
happened.
yeah. And I don't think that that's a good idea. Like, if you look at it, it's not a good idea to do that either, because maybe they're actually doing really great games, but yeah,
Yeah. Like for example, PUBG has loot crates, and
yeah,
you have to pay 250 to open a box, and when you open the box, you get an item that's worth less than 5 cents almost all the time.
yeah,
And that's the real value of it, because it's on the market for less than 5 cents.
yeah,
So there's no reason to open crates anymore. No one opens up their crates anymore. No one
yeah,
does. No, I haven't seen a single person. Everybody has a bunch of locked crates in their inventory that they don't open, and it's definitely a form of gambling, and it's just done poorly. While on the other hand, Heroes of the Storm, their loot crates are amazing. You can get them by leveling up. You rarely ever have to buy them, and every time you get them, there's like really cool rewards in it that are actually worth getting, you know? And they don't
Yeah.
have any real money value to it where you can trade it. So it's all just for fun.
Yeah. That's what I the same. It's exactly the same in Overwatch. It's those loot. It's most skins and it's things like you can't trade them or anything, but
Yeah.
it's just there, and I like that.
Yeah.
And the
Blizzard
only
does it
problem,
good.
yeah, the only problem I have now is that on one of my Overwatch accounts, I've been playing so much that I have 80 or 70 to 80% of all of the skins, and I can't get the last 30% because I only get like these coins instead of the actual skins. But
Yeah.
I still lack a lot of skins, and not only the seasonal ones, but the actual. I lack so many of the normal skins that I haven't been able to unlock because I haven't gotten the luck to get them.
Yeah,
So that's
that's
the
it.
only part. But I don't have to waste money, or I don't have to, or I can't trade them or in any way. So I like that. I think it's good. It gives a little bit of a nice touch to the game that I can change my skins.
It honestly makes people come back and play more because they just want to level up and get a loot crate. That's it.
Yeah.
It's like, why not? Like, come back, get a crate, go back to whatever you were doing. But
Yeah.
there's this new thing going on in PUBG that started in Asia, but they've been doing temporary items. I don't know if you've seen that shit.
Not sure. Not in PUBG. I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
so this is about to play a video for no reason, and I don't want it to. Stop. Okay.
Yeah.
But so what happens is you open up a loot crate, and inside the loot crate, you get an item that's only available in your inventory for 7 days. Can you imagine
What?
that? Exactly. Can you imagine that, dude? It's a huge thing that happens in China, apparently. It's like totally normal for it to happen there. A lot of their games do that, and they've introduced it to North America now, or to Europe and North America and all the other countries. Temporary items, dude. 7 days and then it goes away.
For my thought there is just like, first off, poor artists that's
Yeah.
been probably working hard for these things, and then people can only have them for 7 days. Like maybe can you get them again, or
You can get them again if you open up a loot crate again, and it'll come out again. But there is still permanent items, but the fact that there's temporary items just doesn't make any fucking sense at all.
no, it doesn't. Like I wouldn't. Why?
Yeah.
Like no.
Imagine you
I'm sorry,
paid
but no.
Imagine you paid 250, you open up a box, you get an item that's a really cool item, but in 7 days it'll disappear.
That's just like why? Like that's yeah. It's just you pay money for something temporarily. Like
Yep.
it's not even. Oh no, 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 no. That's not good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's
Oh,
permanent items every 10 levels, Flubbagut, as far as PUBG goes. But I don't know about Battlefield Heroes or whatever it is. So
it just no. I don't like that idea.
yeah, it's terrible idea. The whole temporary item is a stupid. That's taking it way too far. I don't understand the idea behind that. Nobody gets hurt by having a cosmetic item. Why are you giving it to us
No.
temporarily? I really don't get that.
Exactly. Like it doesn't make sense.
No,
It doesn't. Like no,
no,
no. I
no.
just big no.
Big,
No.
big nose. All right, next piece of news. Oh wait, I already did this one. This one. Okay, this is the last piece of news right here. So apparently, I don't. Have you ever used Roll20? I'm sure you have,
No, I haven't used Roll20.
but
I
you've heard
use
of it.
Fantasy Ground. Yes, I've heard of it. Yes.
Okay, so Roll20, I've used it playing D&D. I use it for my Cyberpunk game. It's an amazing tool for tabletop role playing, and it's free to use. You can get a premium account that gives you like some special perks, but you don't need a premium account to play. All the games I played were on my free account. So it's an amazing tool. You can literally, you and your friends will have a virtual tabletop where you can create your character sheets, click on the stats in your character sheet, and it does automatic rolls and stuff like that. Well, this guy made this post on Reddit that just fucking blew up about Roll20. So what happened was his name is Apostolo or something like that. What was his name? Yeah, Apostle O. And he got banned all of a sudden out of nowhere. He just made this Reddit account, like maybe he did like a couple posts or whatever, and then all of a sudden his account was banned. So he messaged the admins, and one of them was user Nolan T. He's like, "Hey, I got banned. I don't know why." And they said, "Well, your name is similar to another person whose name was Apostle of Prophecy or some shit like that. You guys have too similar of names, so we think you're an alternate account, so we're gonna ban you." Okay?
What?
Yeah. So they're like, the other guy was banned for a good reason, so we think that you're making an alternate account, so we're gonna ban you too. And he's like, "Well, I'm not that other guy. I'm a different person. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I've been using Roll20 for 5 years. I have a premium account for 5 years. I've given thousands of dollars to you guys, like, to check my IP, check through Reddit admins and see what you can." And they didn't respond. They said, "Okay, we'll look into it." All right, that's what they said. So this guy did some research himself. He's like, "What did that other guy say to get him banned?" Apparently, that other guy that they banned, the only reason he got banned was because he was fairly criticizing Roll20. He was just saying, he just said something that he was criticizing. Like, he was like, "Hey, I don't know why you guys are doing this. I don't like this." And they banned him. He wasn't like, "Fuck you" or whatever. He wasn't saying anything toxic. He just stated his opinion that was against Roll20, and they banned him. So that led him to research some more, and he realized that all the moderators on the Roll20 Reddit are the creators of Roll20. They're all devs that work for Roll20. They're all the co-create. Nolan T is the co-founder of Roll20. So they're moderating their own community, right? So anytime someone says something negative, they would ban them. And this guy only found out because by accident, right?
Yeah.
So he messaged them saying like, "Hey, you guys can easily find out if I'm the same guy through my IP and stuff like that. Like, I need to have a resolution. It's been like 48 hours. It's been, 72 hours, blah, blah, blah." He kept sending emails, getting no responses. Then they told him, "You know what? We're going to keep the ban going while the investigation is going because you sent too many messages to us." And
what?
Exactly. Like, you've been messaging us so much that it's annoying, and we're just going to keep the ban.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Then they found out. Then, like, he made this post, this super long post. Look, it's gilded 19 times. And it fucking blew up all over Reddit. And this whole thing got way worse than it could have been. The memes were out of control. The whole Roll20 Reddit was out of control. And they had to, like, come back and say something. Nolan T had to come back and say something. And he pretty much was saying, like, yeah, he's right. It isn't the same guy. But, we don't want a toxic community, and we don't want people that are toxic in our community, blah, blah, blah. It was just bullshit. Like, what he was saying was completely wrong. And it made it worse.
Damn.
He has the third most downvoted comment in Reddit history.
Holy shit.
Because of his response that he said. So that caused all kinds of bullshit to happen, dude. Just think about memes and people canceling their accounts. And this Roll20, most people that use it is just for free. So anybody who actually pays money, you better be sucking their dicks, dude. All right?
Yeah.
Because those are the only people that are actually giving you money. So
exactly.
A bunch of those people canceled their accounts, and of course it just blew up. Then people were like, "Where else can we play?" Fantasy Grounds was thrown around, tabletop simulators. So people are finding other ways to do their D&D experience. And Roll20 just straight up, they had to do something. So they're like, "All right, we're not going to moderate our subreddit anymore." They were like, "We're out. We have no control over it. We have control over our own forums only now. And you guys can keep your subreddit." So it was like the most craziest nerd mess you'll ever see in your life, dude.
Holy shit. It's just like that was just so ridiculous. I saw someone say like it sounds like it's run by sixth graders. Yeah, it
Exactly.
sounds like it.
So
Because I use Fantasy Ground for my that kind of services.
so what their idea was, that this is what their idea was. They were like, we're gonna make Roll20, and then we're gonna moderate the subreddit because we're gonna make sure that our community is up to our standards. That's what they pretty much wanted to do. They wanted their community to be the way that they wanted it to be. They didn't want certain discussions happening. They didn't want certain criticisms happening, and they just wanted it to be the way they wanted, because they're like, we're not Twitter. We're not Facebook, all right? We're our own thing. We don't need any of that shit. And that's what backfired right there.
Yeah. But at least it came up so that people actually knows what happened, because that's just so terrible. Like banning people for certain discussion, like
Yeah.
shouldn't you want to, as a developer, kind of want to have criticism so that you know how to get better? I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's the thing. Like, they were so sensitive about the criticism, they couldn't take it. So instead of just listening to people's criticism, they would just ban them. And the guy only found out by accident.
That's just crazy. Holy shit. I can
He'll-
understand why it's
It's
blown
like
up.
he had to look up the other guy's account and see what the fuck the guy said, and he's like, he didn't even say anything. He just said like he was talking about paid game masters. So there's this thing where like you can pay somebody to be your game master, and they have like there's a whole fucking job or career with being a
Yeah.
dungeon master, and people pay you to be their dungeon master. Obviously, it's like, you better be fucking amazing, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
You better be Anthony Hopkins amazing, all right? But they were talking about how he didn't like that Roll20 was supporting it, and that's all he said. He didn't say you guys are fucking greedy mother. No, he just said, I don't like that you guys are supporting paid GMs. It ruins the community, and they banned him, dude. They fucking banned him.
And then like also banning the other dude because like, okay, seriously, in my opinion, if I would ever do something like this, if I would be raging on someone and then they would ban me, I would not create an account with the same name.
Exact same name, one word, like one letter different.
Yeah, why would you do that? Like, unless I'm 12
Yeah, exactly.
and play Fortnite, then maybe.
Oh, we come around. We come around.
Yeah, but in general, like I would create some other name, and then I would actually like, oh yeah, this guy is so right. I would totally be schizophrenic for that. Like,
Yeah, so that's what it is. I just thought it was funny that they thought that they can have their own game, like, or their own like community, and they could just like curate it the way that they wanted it to be, and like with no consequences or anything like that.
yeah, I think it's so funny too.
Yeah.
I need to go on their Reddit now. See whatever's up.
So
But
my in-laws are here, so that's my cue.
Yes. Sounds good.
Yeah, but we did good. We did like over an hour and a half. We did almost 2 hours actually, if I add
nice.
everything and minus the technical difficulties and all that stuff.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
So
Awesome.
yeah. Other than that, I mean, we're done with the news. That's it.
Yes.
What are you playing lately right now? Have you even started streaming since you moved in?
Yes, I've been streaming a little bit, not as much as I used to, but I've been streaming a little bit. I've been streaming a lot of Dark Souls, a lot of Overwatch, and lately, because of my building, my computer, I've been building my computer for the past couple of streams. I am super excited to start Shadow of Tomb Raider, and then in October, at the end of October, I'm gonna play Call of Cthulhu.
Ooh,
is
yeah,
an
that's right. We were
amazing-
gonna talk about that. So
Don't worry about it.
let's do it. Call of Cthulhu game.
Yes, it's a horror game. It's like it's, of course, it has tentacles,
I mean,
and I like that.
it's Cthulhu. It's gonna have tentacles.
Exactly,
So
and it's a game they developed, and I'm super excited about this video game.
Yeah,
actually.
so Marina was telling me about this before the stream started. It's an upcoming role-playing survival horror video game developed by Cyanide. Who's Cyanide? What have they done? Formerly of
Actually,
Ubisoft.
they
Let's
done
see.
Space Hulk. It was
Let's see recent
uh,
games. They've been going at it since the early 2000s. 2001 they
yeah.
started. Oh yeah,
So
Space Hulk Tactics, Werewolf, Call of Cthulhu.
yeah, Styx, if you remember that game with that
They've done a
little.
lot of bicycle games. They've done like a shitload of cycling games, dude.
Yeah, but I'm super excited about that game because I love horror games and I don't play that many games for the reason that I basically played through all of the ones that actually are scary.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this when it comes out in October. So I'm excited.
Yeah, they did Styx, Shards of Darkness. I've seen that game. Blood Bowl. They done. So they have they have the Warhammer 40K IP.
Yeah,
So Games Workshop trusts them enough to make their video games. That's cool. So they're gonna make the new Call of Cthulhu game. It's gonna be on all the platforms. It's semi-open world environment and will incorporate themes of Lovecraftian and psychological horror. Yeah, I mean it's Eldritch stuff.
exactly.
And
Yes.
it's inspired by the short story The Call of Cthulhu, while also being an adaptation of the 1981 role-playing game of the same title. Okay, so
Yes.
I was wondering that. Is it just gonna be the board game, or not the board game, the tabletop game, or is it also incorporating the book? And it looks like it's doing both,
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
so that's good.
So it's gonna be I'm extremely excited about that.
And Cheeseman saying, talk about Agony game. We talked about Agony for a long time in past episodes, Cheeseman, if you want to go back and check them out. But we talked about all the controversy that it had, and then it dropped, and then the game came out and it was not ready.
And it was absolutely horrible.
Did
So
you play
boring.
it?
I played it,
Yeah.
yes.
A lot of people were
It was
so upset about it.
like I don't care about the controversy when it comes to that game. Like I understand if they change things in it, but the game itself was just extremely boring. It was so repetitive. There was no depth into this game. It was just a bad game in general. Like it's one of the worst games I've ever played, and
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with the controversy of them changing the game before the release
Yeah.
either. So it just
They had a patch where like they patched out all the nudity and stuff like that. But that had
yeah,
nothing to do with apparently the game being super boring, horribly optimized, and all of the above. Like everyone was so excited
exactly.
about it because it looked like it was gonna be, oh my god, like whoa, we're going into hell and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden it just came out and it was like, this is not that big of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a horrible game.
They did an okay job on the trailer though.
Yeah, the trailer was really nice, but
That's
like
the
the
whole
actual
point.
gameplay was just horrible. It was a bad game. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
disappointment is a good word. It was a very very big
That's like
disappointment.
those girls that wear so much makeup and then like the next day you see them, like you're like, hey, let's go swimming, and then you see them without makeup and you're like, okay, you fooled me. You
Yeah, it's
fooled
like
me.
it's like, yep, I'm out of here. Bye bye.
Yeah, exactly. That's why you
Yeah,
know if a guy falls in love with a girl that wears little makeup that he really loves you,
exactly. That's
because
good.
he loves you at your worst and your best, even though your worst isn't bad.
Yeah,
I said
exactly.
that to
That's a
wife
good way to
once.
see it.
I
Yeah.
said that to wife. I was like, I love you at your worst and at your best. She's like, oh, so this is my worst? And I'm like, no, that's not what I meant.
Oh, I love waifu so much.
I know, dude. She always has something to say. Yeah.
Thank you, Cheeseman. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
do
so let's
appreciate
do
that.
that actually. Shout out Moodefy. If you guys want to follow Moodefy, there's your Twitch right there, Moodefy. What's your schedule for Americans,
Uh,
or what's your schedule for you're just what is it, Central Time or Central plus
Central.
3?
Oh gosh, yeah, I think it's something like that because I am right now. It is 8 here
8 a.m. or p.m.
p.m.
Okay, yeah, it's 11 a.m. where I am.
Yeah, so it's I usually play around lunchtime, a little bit early lunch maybe, depending on where in America you are. So around lunchtime, basically.
Okay, twitch.tv/Moodefy. And I'm going to your Twitch right now real quick. Hopefully not see my stream. We don't want any
I don't know.
streamception. Oh, you're hosting anti-project. Good. No, it's good because mine kept like coming in and out. So I just wanted to go to your info page here, but Twitch is being a bitch right now, so fuck it. It's not working.
But don't worry about it.
All right, so yeah.
You can find me.
So
you want to be a bit...
What's your schedule? Monday through Saturday that you stream, or?
I usually play Tuesday and Thursdays, and then on weekend I try to make... Right now it's been a little bit inconsistent for the reason that I've had a lot to do with work, but I'm trying to adjust my schedule and trying to maybe put Monday in there too again, because I feel like I need the motivation on Mondays, you know?
I feel you. Tuesdays and
Yes.
Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, that's good because Wednesday you could do your errands, then you're back at it, and then Friday you could do more errands and go hang out with people. Then on the weekend, if you have time, do some more.
Yes,
I like
exactly.
that.
That's what I'm doing right now. Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I try to do one on weekends because it's fun.
Okay, sounds good. Marina, you're such an amazing person. Thank you so much for being a part of the community. And
thank you for allowing me to be here.
Dude, we're going to have you back again, obviously. We're cycling through the people that we love to have on the podcast, and you're one of them for sure. You're an OG, as they say.
I like that. Thank you.
OG, original gangster, dude. Everybody send your positive vibes to Czar as well. You could check out my podcast, the Wise and Sassy Podcast with Wife. This podcast and the Wise and Sassy Podcast, both of them are on iTunes. So if you guys want to find them on your apps or whatever you use, you can easily find them. Are you ever going to do a podcast? I feel like you'd be so good if you did it.
Yes, I've actually done a podcast previously, but I was trying to, because it was one where I was podcast, and I've been trying to expand it into doing a co-host so that I have two people there. And it just, because of work, I just haven't gotten around to do it, but I would love to, and I'm trying to do that actually.
Yeah, I mean, if you could just do 1 hour a day or 1 hour once a week, like that's all it is. You know what I mean? If you think about it that way, you know, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do video. You could do just audio.
Yeah, I would like to actually do both video and audio because it's so much fun. And it would be so great to do it. So I have someone that we're discussing on how to proceed with this, but we haven't gotten around to it yet.
That's okay.
And it's partly my fault because of, work.
Well, if you need any help, obviously, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll be one of your other nerd friends that helps you. You're like,
yay!
You have so many friends that help you with all your little needs.
Yeah, I know. That's great. The only part that I still need to find is someone that, satisfy my sexually needs. I haven't really gotten to it that yet, but we're getting there. We're getting there.
Someday, just all you have to do is just put out the bat signal, let everyone know. Yeah. How does Tinder work? Do you guys have Tinder there?
We do have Tinder, but I don't like Tinder.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the first place I'd look.
Yeah, I don't like Tinder though, but I like it. I'm getting there. Don't worry.
You're getting there. Well, I hope that all of your needs are met, and I would like to say thank you from the bottom of our heart, from the Point and Click podcast family community. We need a name. Army? I don't know. I feel like Army sucks. Point and Click. Clickers? Point and Clickers?
Point and Clickers.
Point and Clickers? Maybe. Cheeseman wants to know if you're single. I think he wants to satisfy your needs, but he plays Fortnite, so...
Oh, gosh.
I'm just kidding. I don't know what he plays.
Yes, I am single, if you want to know. Yes.
Yes.
That's why I'm joking about, sexual needs.
Oh, man. All right. So, other than that, Marina, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to plug, by the way, other than your stream?
No, I'm fine. Thank you.
Okay. That's it.
Actually, one thing. I really would like you guys to always watch John's stream because he's awesome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. My stream's kind of been ups and downs because of the baby, but I'm starting to get my rhythm. So make sure you guys join my Discord, and then Marina, put your Discord in there too in my either in my Discord or in chat. Actually,
Yes.
probably just put it in my Discord because everybody that's here has my Discord mostly. If you guys have any suggestions for articles or anything like that, throw it in our podcast discussion, and we'll take a look at it and see if we can sift through it. And we'll talk about it on the podcast. And that's it. All right?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you guys very much. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day. We love you. You're fantastic. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Yes, I'll see you. Bye.
Do you know how to burp on command?
I do.
Do it. Nice. Czar would be proud. Thank you.
Yay. I'll see you. Bye.
Bye bye.
We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away.
It smells like wet dog. We pretend people care about our opinions. We pretend people care about our opinions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Point Click Podcast. They're just a couple of good guys, virtue signaling their life away. So stay woke, stay fresh,